Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. Across 3 episodes, we talk with Amanda Markham, the CRM Director who engages in sales, account management, and implementation projects for the US-based Ethosystems, who specialize in delivering CRM and accounting solutions into the construction and related industries. In this episode, we talk to Amanda about the uniqueness of their Sage CRM proposition for the construction and real estate sector. Jeff drops in a history lesson on the Tower of London, and Amanda explains how she tells the CRM story to the construction sector. Hi, Amanda.
Hello. Hi, Jeff. Hi, David.
Oh, it's lovely to hear your voice again, Amanda.
Good to chat with you guys.
As usual, you know the drill, Amanda. We're going to talk about all things CRM, and obviously we're going to talk a bit about your business, how you got into it, that sort of thing. But first things first, who are you? Where did you come from? What's your story?
I feel like those are really big questions, David. I don't really know who I am at this point, but no, I am Amanda Markham, and I work with Ethosystems, and we're kind of a unique Sage partner in that we go after really specific markets. So we only talk to people in the construction or real estate space. That's our area, if you will. We speak those languages very fluently. So we are a Sage shop. We do sell pretty much the full gamut of the Sage construction and real estate tool set, but Sage CRM is a big part of that tool set, and it has become more and more. We work on trying to find what's new in technology, what's coming, and then take that to, let's talk about construction specifically, just because we all know they kind of lag a little in technology. And so we're specifically usually trying to come to that group and say, hey guys, this is coming up in a couple years. Let's start talking now. Let's start thinking now. How are we going to get ready for that?
In your phraseology then, Amanda, who are these guys? Who are they? Who are you talking to?
So these guys, and I should really stop that, but my typical folks that I'm talking to, when I talk about contractors, I'm really talking about GCs, specialty or service guys. And if you don't know what I mean, bear with me. I'm going to give you a quick definition. Your GCs, your general contractors, those are the guys that are building the buildings ground up. So I should have looked up who built the Tower of London way back when, but that was your GC. Yeah, that person that showed up to manage that project and get it up.
Listen, Amanda, if it was the Tower of London, you can bet your bottom dollar that well, you know, the William the Conqueror, that wasn't his first name. The GCs called that particular demanding person William something else.
I like it. I'm pretty sure some of our clients have been called that too at some point. But so that's your general contractor. And the other contractors we deal with are specialty or service. And if you aren't familiar, it sounds like I'm saying the same thing. I promise I'm not. Your specialties, the way I know how to describe this is, if you think about it, you go into a big building and someone's going to put up a 30-story office building. There is someone that specializes in hanging drywall. That's a specialty contractor. All they do is drywall all day long, and they know how to go in and estimate and make money off of hanging drywall in those big spaces. Your service contractors, they are the people that go out and do service work. So when you think about your HVAC system, your aircon goes out and you need to make a phone call, that's our service contractor. So there is a difference there. And we speak all of their languages, and they all three have very distinct languages.
They do. I've got some insight into the building trades and the construction trades, certainly in the UK market. So you'll have the general builder, the general contractor who is going to be taking the work. Do you interface with the architects and the design companies that are doing sort of the technical diagrams for those aircon systems, for those services?
Good question, Jeff. Typically, when it comes to the architectural firms, there are some legal reasons why Sage, actually on the construction real estate side, we don't have any solutions for them. They have very industry specific solutions that meet a legal requirement. We tie into that though. So we'll tie into those systems and get the data back into our systems.
I'm aware that in the states themselves have different certification programs for contractors. So do you handle and have to think about the certification programs for those and keeping track of not only the GC certification status, but also the certification statuses of the subcontractors?
Exactly. And that's what we're doing. And the project management side, we do that through Sage 300, CRE, or Sage 100 contractor. That's the kind of information that's flowing back into CRM. So as an example, if I were a business development person in a GC's office and I've got a new bid, I just found out this municipality is looking at building a new school in a new district, and that looks like it's going to be work for 2021. In my opportunity in CRM, I'm typically recording who my subs will be too. I might be using a search select field to just indicate what subs do I think I'm going to invite to bid with me, so that historically I can look back to see which bids do I win and who are the subs with me when I won it. Who are the subs that keep not really helping me, So you can see the positive and the negative there.
So how did you come to be part of this whole different industry, Amanda, and speaking this language?
So I don't know if I should admit this or not. My background is in fashion marketing and advertising.
Oh, it's a natural route into construction, of course.
Yes. I imagined that you would have been sort of What Hod magazine. What for?
Yes, but so I didn't really have a background for this. I got into the marketing and advertising for a partner. I actually went to work for Cornerstone Solutions, who is now Ethosystems. They've absorbed some other partners. But job one was coming in just to do marketing and advertising, and they needed a CRM. And they were on Goldmine. It was old. It was 10 years ago, and I was coming out of a catalog company, Spiegel Catalog, if you guys remember that catalog, for any North American listeners. Spiegel Catalog was a big catalog, German company, and I came out of that situation with quite a bit of information on how software systems should run and how should we store data for marketing and advertising. And so I stepped into this partner's office who was selling software, but the software was all accounting, estimating. They hadn't, project management. They hadn't really thought about how, for themselves internally, how they were going to use that software to track things. So I went out looking for a CRM system. At the same time, Sage said, hey, and Jeff, you would have been there, and David, I wonder if you were there. Sage said, hey, we have this new thing. We had ActPack. We had, what's our other? Act. We had Act. We had Act. We had Sales Logics. And here came Sage CRM. This was this cool tool that was going to be web-based and da-da-da-da-da. And I took one look at it and I thought, yeah, this works. This is adaptable for what we're going to do. This gave me everything the big systems for Spiegel had given me, but it gave me it at a much less price tag, something that my partner could stomach at that point. And it was something that I knew I could build on. And it probably took me about 6 months of using it. And listening to the sales guys around me, I was listening to what they were talking about with their prospects, and it hit me. I thought, this goes together. The CRM belongs in their office too. They need to keep track of who their business development people are talking to. How's marketing going to get the contacts to market too? It was really simple questions that started me down the path of, I think our customers would actually benefit from hearing about a CRM.
And so I'm hearing a story, I think, here that says you see screens that say opportunity and customer, and you go, well, in our land, that means contract, subby, etc. Right. It
was that simple. And I know that I'm biased because I know how much I like Sage CRM. So I know I'm biased when I make this next statement. But I truly feel like it is one of the easiest systems to customize out there. And when I show my own clients, hey, look, it's a wizard. Let's pop this thing open. We just need to change. We need to add a couple fields. We need to add a couple fields because marketing needs to know this. It takes 2 minutes to do it. And that was a very different thing. I think most people are used to, I have to call a consultant. It's going to cost me money. It's going to be this big thing. And it's not. It really isn't.
How did you convince those people then? So the next bit of that story, the wizard story is quite clever, right? You go, look, I just changed a few screens and good to go. But there's more than that, there's always more than that, because otherwise you wouldn't be in business, would you? How do you get them on that story, on that journey?
That's a good question. I'd like to know how I do that. Sometimes it's really hard. It's getting so much easier. I can tell you the first year or two of going into someone's office and trying to talk to them about this and trying to explain, how simple it was. No one cared how simple it was to use because they didn't understand what they would benefit from adding it. today's conversations are so different. Today now, I think every business owner I meet with understands why they want a CRM. They get why they need the visibility into what their people are doing and what's coming up for them. So that is already
even
there.
In that industry.
Yes, even in that industry.
They're a bit laggard, right? Yeah.
They are laggards. I hate to call them out, but wow, are they bad about coming to technology. But I think they're getting it. They really get it now.
In the next episode, Jeff reflects on the challenges of the construction industry, asks Amanda about different forms of construction business types and how CRM is set up to help their businesses in different ways, and the paramount issue for all construction businesses across the United States. You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.